Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The General Hospital Spoilers Preview Update for Tuesday, April 29th, shows that Nina Reeves' Drew Kane drugging plot will go, while Jocelyn Jacks poses a key question that could aid her WSB mission. Drew will corner Portia Robinson at the hospital and remind her that he may reveal her secrets. Drew will expect Portia to follow directions because he has the potential to ruin her career and her marriage to Curtis Ashford. Of course, Drew's continuous threats could serve to dispel whatever qualms Portia has about her plan with Nina. Portia has already agreed to assist Nina with this plot and will adhere to the plan on Tuesday's broadcast. Portia will deliver Nina the ketamine she obtained with Brad Cooper's help soon. Nina will then pass it on to Jacinda so she can prepare for the next steps. Meanwhile, Curtis will be concerned that Jordan Ashford has joined Jen Sidwell's circle, placing her in danger. Jordan will make it apparent that she understands the Sidwell scenario, and Curtis will hope she is correct. When Portia appears, she may be uneasy by the sight of Curtis and Jordan with their heads together like this. Anna Devane's spy instincts will be tingling throughout Tuesday's GH episode. Anna will detect trouble. Therefore she may assume Professor Henry Hank Dalton was involved in the Emma Scorpio Drake pandemonium in California. However, Anna may cope with some suspicions about Jocelyn instead. Jocelyn will undoubtedly be anxious to capture Professor Dalton's attention, and will have an important question to ask him. Jocelyn's objective is dependent on getting the research assistant position, so she'll wonder whether there's anything she can do to increase her chances. Will Professor Dalton toss out some suggestions or dismiss Joss as a lost cause because he came to his class so late in the semester? In any case, Jocelyn isn't going to give up and may make some predictions about going to any length to prove herself to Professor Dalton. Back with Drew, it appears that he will show up where he is not wanted and have a major meltdown at the Savoy. According to the trailer, Lulu Spencer will be on hand to shoot some drama on her phone, so expect some unpleasant scenes. Drew's night is about to get even worse owing to Nina and Portia's drugging scheme. It won't be long until Jacinda does her thing and gets Drew into bed with her for the cheating scheme. Until then, let's talk about Lucas Jones, who will become closer to Marco Rios on Tuesday's show. Giovanni Gio Palmieri will also respond to some shocking news as Tracy Quartermaine continues to bash Sonny Corinthos, but Jason Morgan will pressure Gio to ignore what he's learned. According to General Hospital Spoilers, more Sonny surprises await Jason as he learns what happened in Los Angeles. Alexis tries to explain the commitment papers to Christina and Molly, and Sonny receives a visit from Spoiler. Monday, April 28, 2025. Today on General Hospital, Portia convinces Brad to furnish her with ketamine, Gio summons troops to deal with Tracy, and Anna sees Henry Dalton, who shares some information about his origins. In Alexis' office, she asks Christina where she obtained the commitment papers. Molly adds that she and Diane got some of their papers mixed up, which she retrieved and delivered to Christina. Christina wonders how her mother could do this. Alexis explains that she did not sign them and did not intend to do so. Christina wonders why she had them drawn up in the first place. Alexis requests to talk with Christina alone, but Molly refuses to leave her sister. Alexis claims she had them made up because she was concerned about Christina, but she has since changed her mind after seeing how much better she is doing. Christina thought they were all connected and doing well, but suddenly her mother is doing this behind her back. Alexis exclaims, "You left me no choice." Christina, according to Alexis, has had a difficult year and has come dangerously close to breaking down. She felt Christina was putting on a front and saying what she thought people wanted to hear. She believed it would be safer for her to confront her emotions in a hospital atmosphere, and she was attempting to protect her. Christina exclaims, "Because I can't care for myself. I'm a risk to myself and society." Christina storms out. Molly informs her mother that she isn't buying Christina's excuses, and that she isn't falling apart or acting. She claims her mother has been doing this for Christina's entire life. She undercuts Christina to protect her, but it never succeeds. Alexis confesses she made a mistake and did not sign the papers, but Molly believes she should never have had them drawn up. Molly then storms out. The not-so-mysterious delivery. Later, Suzanne, the office assistant, brings Alexis a box that had just been delivered. She opens it and finds Helena's knife, which Sidwell delivered with a message stating that her family relic is better in her hands. Christina visits Adela's grave and admits to having made a huge mistake. She knows that if Molly finds out what she did to her father, she would lose her for good, and her mother is misinterpreting her sorrow over what happened, leading her to believe she has lost her mind. Perhaps she has. Molly comes, knowing she will find her sister here. Christina expresses gratitude for having her back with their mother. Molly claims they are all that is left. They do not have Sam or their baby girl. They only have each other. She tells Christina that they'll be together forever. Ladies' night out. Anna runs into Felicia at the hospital. Anna is dressed to go out, but Felicia isn't. Felicia explains that there has been a change in plans, and she will be a few minutes late. She has been waiting for authorization from an insurance firm, and will meet Jordan at the Savoy in her party attire. Anna chooses to stay with Felicia and texts Jordan. Anna and Felicia in hospital jeet. While they wait for a response from the insurance company, Anna and Felicia discuss Emma. Anna claims she's giving Emma a break while keeping a careful check on her. Felicia receives a response from the insurance company, which requires extra documents, so she tells Anna to go ahead and she'll meet her and Jordan later. Another special delivery. Brad brings Portia all of Drew's medical files, including the Jake Doe files. Portia has another task for him. She needs him to bring her ketamine. He can't believe she does that, but he soon discovers it's for Congressman Cutthroat. He warns her that if he gets caught with the drug, he will be fired, and she points out that he will be fired if he does not do this. Brad shouts, "This new arrangement is terrible." She tells him to tough it out and obtain the medicine. He returns shortly with the medicine, and she contacts Nina to inform her that she has what they require. Professor Dalton experiences the Savoy. Trina and Kai go to the Savoy for a night out. They run into Curtis, who finds out that Kai's surgery is scheduled for tomorrow. Kai requests to talk with Curtis, so Trina goes to tell Emma they are arrived. Kai informs Curtis that he owes him an apology. He feels he has offended him by not following his counsel on surgery. Curtis informs Kai that he is chasing his ambitions and will never be regretful. Trina speaks with Emma and expresses concern that Kai's surgery tomorrow may go disastrously wrong. Emma informs her that all she needs to do is support Kai, and that she is great at helping people, as she shown at her protest at the Quartermain crypt. Trina brings up the ADA and questions her about Emma's dismissal from her prior school. She didn't say anything, but she believes her queries were about her grandma rather than Emma. Dalton arrives and Emma introduces him to Trina. He takes Emma aside and asks how her extra credit project is going. She is working on the computer model in the hopes that it would wow him enough to land the research assistant position. Gio sends her a 911 SMS, so she takes off apologizing to her professor. Jordan arrives at the club and receives Anna's SMS indicating that she and Felicia are running late. She runs into Curtis, who needs to know about her and Drew's relationship. She says that she and Drew are friends again, and she will have to push Drew's agenda, which will put them on opposing sides for the next 2 weeks. He understands that this is part of her job working for Sidwell, and she vows to notify him if anything Drew or Sidwell does has an influence on him. He simply asks her to be careful. Trina and Kai continue to spend time together, and Kai is optimistic that the surgery will be successful. Even if it didn't work, he tried. He also says he hasn't told her that Drew is having everything documented, and he can't refuse. She toasts to things going well. Anna arrives and sits at the bar next to Dalton, who orders a continental sour. She mentions that she had no idea anyone ordered those anymore, and they used to be her favorites. He orders one for her, referring to her as his new friend. He introduces himself as Hank and notices her accent, which shows she is not from here. She explains that she has lived here for years. Dalton adds that he recently came here, first taking a job teaching in California and now at PCU. Anna said it is a good school, and her granddaughter attends there. Mission impossible. In an alley, Vaughn snatches Joss from behind and chokes her. When she doesn't fight him off, he calls her sad. She assumed this was a meeting, not a training session. He asks for an update on Dalton, and she says she's making progress, but the competition is fierce. He points out that this isn't good, but she says that she's already attempting to catch up with the rest of the class. Vaughn says Dalton will be at the Savoy tonight, So go there, speak with him, and make a good impression. Vaughn and Josh G. Later, Joss arrives at the Savoy and notices Dalton speaking with Anna at the bar. Tracy butts heads with Gio. Tracy encourages Gio to register to vote in Port Charles so that he can vote for Laura rather than Sonny, who owns the piers. She suggests he read a webpage before deciding how to vote for Sonny. Gio points out that Sonny requires those piers for his business, but Tracy counters that Sonny's business is more than just coffee. Gio questions why she's going after Uncle Sonny in this manner. Tracy tells that she has lived here for a long time and saw what Sonny is capable of. Gio claims Uncle Sonny has done a lot of good, but Tracy considers him a dangerous guy. People who are drawn into Sonny's world end up in prison or dead, and she would be devastated if this happened to him. Later, Emma comes, and Gio tells Tracy that he hopes she would persuade her out of her plans for Uncle Sonny. A special visitor or three. In Los Angeles, Carly contacts Jason to inform him that Sonny will be all right. Sonny, meanwhile, awakens to find a nurse going to inject him with something, but passes asleep. Brick steps in and informs the nurse that he will need some identification. She goes to retrieve her ID but instead takes out a pistol. Brick is quicker and shoots her with a silenced weapon. The nurse slumps over Sonny's feet, and Brick requests a body pickup. Carly enters and is astonished. Brick assures her that Sonny is all right, but the nurse is not, and they had an incident. They stepped outside and Carly assumed Brick was on his way to Dubai. He only found blood outside a supply closet, and inside was a nurse in her underwear. When he returned to Sonny, he discovered that the fake nurse was preparing to take him out. Carly cries because he saved Sonny's life. Jack quickly arrives, revealing that he was on his way to the West Coast for WSB business when Brick's need for assistance came in. Carly appreciates Jack's presence as Brick departs. He smiles. "Anything for you." Jack admits he wasn't simply heading to the West Coast for the WSB. He figured she could need him. She informs him that actions sometimes speak louder than words, and they kiss. Meanwhile, Sonny is sitting at Bobby's counter. Mike tosses him a menu and says he's glad to see his son again. Sonny wonders whether this means he's dead, but Mike assures no. His surgery was successful. He explains that Sonny had been deeply drugged, so he took advantage of the chance to pay him a visit. Sonny informs his father that he was correct about everything, and that he should have quit the firm long ago. Mike wonders why Sonny has had such a change of heart. Sonny admits that it's something he's been thinking about for a while, and what happened to Michael solidified his thoughts. This isn't the first time someone he loves has been caught in the crossfire intended for him, but it must be the last. Sonny understands that if he takes a step back, he will be vulnerable. If he goes forward, he will get deeper. He needs a solution. Else his family will never experience true serenity. Mike believes Sonny will find a way to safeguard their family. Mike tells Sonny it's time to return to his family, and they embrace. Sonny awakens in his hospital bed and looks around. The nurse's body is no longer present. Sonny says, "Thank you, Dad." Carly enters, sits on his bed, and asks how he is doing. Sonny inquires if everything is fine. She claims it is, but he has missed a lot. On the next General Hospital, Jason advises Gio to forget what he heard. At the Savoy, Joss asks Dalton whether there is anything she can do to improve her chances of earning the research assistant position. Drew orders Portia to make it happen or he'll tell Curtis everything he knows. Jordan tells Curtis, "The question isn't whether I can handle Sidwell, but whether Sidwell can handle me." Laura Wright had an extra special day on April 28th, because it was the 7th anniversary of her first date with real-life boyfriend Wes Ramsey. How did they meet? The couple originally met in the early 2000s, when they both appeared on Guiding Light. She is Reva Shane's sister Cassie Lane, and he is Olivia Spencer's brother Sam. "I was smitten," he told Michael Fairman TV in 2018, "but I had to keep it to myself, because his love was married and expecting her second kid with her husband. But we laughed," he said, "and had great conversations." How did they get together? When Wright was more than a decade into her role as Carly Corinthos on General Hospital and her marriage had ended, a serendipitous encounter between the former co-stars occurred during Daytime Emmy weekend in 2017. What seemed to the outside world as a coincidence of circumstance, running into each other at a party. "I knew instantly in that moment that my life as I knew it was shifting," remarked Ramsey in the year 2021. When I use words like fate or destiny, I think of that night. General Hospital spoilers recap for Monday, April 28th, reveals that Mike Corbin made a surprise return visit, while Brick saved Sonny Corinthos' life. At the Quartermaine mansion, Tracy Quartermaine pushed Giovanni Gio Palmieri to vote against Sonny in the upcoming Esplanade referendum, and showed him a hit piece slamming the mob boss. Although Gio respected Sonny and didn't see him as a threat, Tracy suggested Gio could land behind bars or deceased if he stayed too close to him. At the law office, Alexis Davis tried to convince Christina Corinthos Davis that she needed to speak with her alone, but she wanted Molly Lansing Davis to stick around. Alexis suggested she saw through Christina's act and felt she wasn't really okay, though she changed her mind and realized filing the papers to have her committed would have been a mistake. Christina wound up storming out while Molly stayed behind to lecture Alexis some more. Once Christina made her way to the cemetery, she talked to her baby girl's gravestone. Christina confessed how she targeted Ava Jerome, and wound up hurting Rick Lansing, as well as Elizabeth Baldwin instead. Now Christina assumed Alexis had misinterpreted her guilt, and how that had been influencing her behavior lately. Back at the office, Alexis received a package and opened it to find Helena Cassadine's dagger. There was also a note to suggest that Jen Sidwell didn't feel right about keeping it. Portia Robinson forced Brad Cooper to get her some ketamine, so he returned with a vial of it. Portia then called Nina Reeves to let her know they had what they needed for Drew Kane's trap. At the Savoy, Kai Taylor was there to celebrate with Trina Robinson ahead of his surgery tomorrow, so he apologized to Curtis Ashford for not taking his advice. Trina also caught up with Emma Scorpio Drake until Professor Henry Dalton came along to chat with Emma next. Professor Dalton talked about an extra credit assignment that was important if Emma wanted the research assistant gig. Emma was hopeful that Professor Dalton would be impressed with her work. Once Gio sent Emma an SOS via text, she took off on Professor Dalton. After Emma arrived at the Quartermaine mansion, Gio hoped she could help shut down Tracy's plans for Sonny. In an alley, Vaughn ambushed Jocelyn Jacks from behind to put her training to the test. Jocelyn complained about her mission since she couldn't just snap her fingers and become Professor Dalton's research assistant, especially when she was playing catch-up and there were other candidates ahead of her. Vaughn felt Jocelyn should do something to make herself stand out from the rest of the pack. For tonight, Vaughn wanted Jocelyn to monitor Professor Dalton's actions at the Savoy and report back. Back inside the Savoy, Professor Dalton ordered a drink for Anna Devane at the bar, so he flirted a bit and suggested she could call him Hank. Professor Dalton brought up his position at PCU, so Anna noted that her granddaughter went there. As the conversation continued, Professor Dalton mentioned that he moved to Port Charles from California. Nearby, Jordan Ashford gave Curtis some Drew and Sidwell updates while Kai told Trina about Drew wanting to have his surgery documented. In Los Angeles, Brick entered Sonny's room and demanded ID from the nurse who was about to inject him. The nurse went for her concealed gun instead, but Brick grabbed his own weapon and shot her on the spot. Brick called the WSB before Carly Spencer walked in, and was horrified over the scene in front of her. Once Carly realized Brick saved Sonny from another attempt on his life, she was filled with gratitude. Since Brennan was on his way to LA when Brick's call came in, he was the nearest agent and would handle the cleanup. Brennan reassured Carly, who was thrilled to see him. While Sonny was still under sedation, he got a heavenly visit from Mike. Bobby's was suddenly Kelly's again in Sonny's dream, which involved him opening up to his dad about his desire to get out of the mob. Mike couldn't offer a solution for Sonny, but he made a prediction about his son figuring it out and was proud of him. Once Sonny woke up to Carly, she told him everything was okay, though she added that Sonny missed a lot. General Hospital spoilers say Sonny will get some shocking news soon enough, so we'll keep you posted on all the drama ahead. The episode of General Hospital on Monday, April 28th, was packed with emotional reunions, high-stakes drama, and life-changing moments that left fans on the edge of their seats. The sudden return of Mike Corbin, Sonny Corinthos' ailing father, brought a wave of nostalgia and heartache, while Brick's heroic actions prevented a tragedy that could have altered Port Charles forever. The intertwining stories of family, loyalty, and survival kept viewers glued to their screens, proving once again why General Hospital remains a cornerstone of daytime drama. The episode opened with Sonny Corinthos in his office at the Metro Court, going over business dealings with Jason Morgan. The tension between the two was palpable, as Jason expressed concern over recent threats against Sonny's organization. Despite Jason's insistence on tightening security, Sonny brushed off the warnings, confident in his ability to handle any situation. His arrogance, however, would soon be challenged in ways he never expected. Meanwhile, Carly Corinthos was seen meeting with Jax at the Port Charles Hotel, discussing their ongoing custody battle over Jocelyn. The conversation quickly turned heated as Carly accused Jax of using their daughter as leverage, while Jax fired back, criticizing Carly's involvement with Sonny's dangerous lifestyle. Their argument was interrupted by an unexpected phone call, one that would change the course of the day. Back at Sonny's penthouse, Brick was reviewing security footage when he noticed suspicious activity near the docks. His instincts told him something was off, and he immediately alerted Jason. Before they could act, however, a familiar face appeared at the door. Mike Corbin, Sonny's father, who had been absent from Port Charles for months due to his declining health. His sudden arrival shocked everyone, especially Sonny, who had been struggling with guilt over not being able to spend more time with his father. Mike's appearance was bittersweet. Though he was visibly weaker, his sharp wit and stubborn charm were still intact. The reunion between father and son was emotional, with Sonny fighting back tears as he embraced Mike. Their conversation was filled with unspoken regrets and love, as Mike admitted he didn't want to spend whatever time he had left in a hospital. He wanted to be with family. While the Corinthos family was reeling from Mike's surprise visit, danger was brewing elsewhere. At the docks, a group of armed men, later revealed to be working for a rival mobster, were preparing an ambush. Their target? Sonny. Unbeknownst to him, his recent business moves had angered a powerful enemy, and retaliation was imminent. Brick, having pieced together the intel, rushed to warn Sonny, but it was almost too late. As Sonny stepped out of his car near the warehouse, gunfire erupted. Brick, acting quickly, pushed Sonny out of the way, taking a bullet in the process. The scene was chaotic, with Jason and the rest of Sonny's security team engaging in a fierce shootout. By the time the dust settled, the attackers were either dead or in custody, but Brick was badly injured. The aftermath of the shooting sent shockwaves through Port Charles. At General Hospital, Brick was rushed into emergency surgery, with Sonny and Jason anxiously waiting for news. The guilt weighed heavily on Sonny. First his father's return, now Brick's sacrifice. He couldn't shake the feeling that his choices were putting everyone he cared about in danger. Carly arrived at the hospital, having heard about the attack, and immediately went to Sonny's side. Despite their recent conflicts, she knew he needed support. Their conversation was tense but underscored by deep concern, as Carly urged Sonny to reconsider his approach to business before someone else got hurt. Meanwhile, Mike, who had been resting at Sonny's penthouse, was informed about the shooting. Worried for his son, he insisted on going to the hospital, despite his frail condition. When he arrived, the sight of Sonny's distress broke his heart. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Mike told Sonny that he couldn't bear the thought of losing him, not after everything they'd been through. Their emotional exchange highlighted the complicated but unbreakable bond between them. As the episode neared its conclusion, the doctors finally emerged with an update on Brick's condition. The surgery had been successful, but his recovery would be long and uncertain. Sonny, overwhelmed with gratitude, vowed to make sure Brick got the best care possible. The episode ended with Sonny standing by Brick's bedside, reflecting on the day's events. Mike's return, the assassination attempt, Brick's heroism. It all served as a harsh reminder of how fragile life was. The April 28th episode of General Hospital was a masterclass in storytelling, blending family drama with intense action. Mike Corbin's surprise visit added layers of emotional depth, while Brick's sacrifice raised the stakes for Sonny's future. With so many threads left unresolved, fans were left eagerly anticipating the next episode, wondering how these events would shape the lives of their favorite characters. Would Sonny finally step back from the brink? Or would the cycle of violence continue? Only time would tell. Drew Kane will have a dramatic outburst on Tuesday, April 29th, according to General Hospital spoilers. Jason Morgan will warn Giovanni Gio Palmieri about it. Jen Sidwell's greatest threat may also be right under his nose, so here's what fans may expect. For starters, Tracy Quartermain will provide Gio with amazing updates and continue to persuade him that Sonny Corinthos is bad trouble. Gio plans to discuss his worries with Jason later, but Jason insists that Gio ignore what he heard. However, after some distressing findings, Gio may begin to question how well he knows Sunny. On Tuesday's program, Marco Rios and Lucas Jones will spend some time together. It will provide an opportunity for Lucas and Marco to improve their relationship as they continue to fall for each other. Drew will pay a visit to Portia Robinson's office on General Hospital and issue a stern warning. After telling Portia to make it happen, Drew threatens to go to Curtis Ashford with what he knows if she doesn't. Jordan will reassure Curtis at the Savoy that the question is not whether she can handle Sidwell, but whether Sidwell can handle her. Jordan will be full of confidence now that she has positioned herself as Sidwell's threat on the inside, but Curtis will want her to remain cautious. Portia will eventually arrive and notice Curtis talking to Jordan. It may leave Portia wondering what they're talking about and why Curtis appears so friendly with his ex-wife. Anna Devane will have to cope with some concerns now that Professor Henry Dalton has admitted moving to Port Charles from California. Some puzzle pieces may fall into place, leaving Anna concerned that Professor Dalton is also involved in all of Emma Scorpio Drake's drama in California. Jocelyn Jacks will ultimately have her time chatting to Professor Dalton at the bar, and she will ask whether there is anything she can do to boost her chances of getting the research assistant position. Drew should be in the spotlight by the end of the night, as he is expected to have a massive outburst. According to GH's weekly preview video, Drew will have a public meltdown while Lulu Spencer captures the entire event on tape. Drew's evening is going to get worse because to Nina Reeves' plan, which will be carried out once she provides Jacinda the ketamine and additional instructions on how to set up the bedroom. Nina will make some bold predictions regarding Drew's demise, and believe that Jacinda may assist him end his connection with Willow Corinthos. We've been saying for years that General Hospital should take Sunny out of the mob. How many times could ABC's daytime drama repeat the same storylines with him? He did not even stand trial for his most recent murder. It's monotonous and, to be generous, lacks inspiration. But, finally, it appears like the powers that be are willing to shake up the existing quo. A change is coming. In the April 28th episode, while asleep after heart surgery, Sunny told a vision of his late father Mike that it was time to divorce from the mob. Heck, it was past time, the Don realized, given his son Michael had become the latest loved one to be caught up in his nefarious lifestyle. He couldn't keep twiddling his thumbs and hoping that Dante, Christina, Avery, or Donna wouldn't be the next of his children to suffer collateral damage. What's next? The question is, if Sunny stops being Port Charles's godfather, what will he do with his time? Crime has paid him so well that he could simply retire. But that doesn't sound like him, does it? With Lois on the canvas, Sunny might relaunch records, potentially luring old flame Brenda back to run it with her friend. General Hospital spoilers show that Sunny Corinthos' heart surgery in Los Angeles has begun, and Carly Spencer is there to support him. Spoilers suggest that someone will inject Sunny with a syringe and attempt to end his life once and for all. It looks like a woman. Could be someone we don't know, most likely a paid hit woman, but the question is, who do they work for? Sunny has many adversaries that wish to kill him over the years, but who is responsible for the attack in Los Angeles? Jennifer Smith, who operates on the West Coast and has ties to Port Charles, would be extremely interesting in taking over Sunny's domain. Jennifer Smith has been going for Sunny Corinthos for months. Jennifer Smith is a very likely suspect in the penthouse explosion, and she could have directed Selinsky to put the incendiary device. Selinsky declined to provide Sunny and Jason Morgan the identity of his supervisor, although it could very well be Jennifer Smith. Jennifer would like to take control of Sunny's domain in Port Charles, but she would need to get him out of the way first. Unfortunately, she failed this time, but she plans to pursue Sunny in Los Angeles. Would be relatively simple for her because she is confined to that location. Jennifer Smith has a mole in Port Charles. If Jennifer Smith is genuinely after Sunny, she must have a mole in Port Charles who reports to her. She may have made a bargain with Jen Sidwell, but it could be someone else. It may possibly be Selena Wu, although that's quite improbable. This individual would be providing any information they could locate regarding Sunny, and Jennifer would be aware of when and where the surgery was scheduled. She could easily send someone to administer Sunny's deadly injection, which will finally kill him.